If you saw my out of the theatre reaction yesterday, you can tell I was absolutely stunned by this film. I've grown up watching films, literally, and there's not much I've not seen or experienced on screen. But Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey left me spellbound, speechless, lost for words. This film is an unbelievable achievement in storytelling. It's what all filmmakers should aspire towards. I've said how Dune Part 2 is the best film I've seen this decade so far, but The Odyssey, it's right up there. I'll need to watch it one more time to make up my mind, but it's going to be close. I've had exactly 24 hours since I came out of the cinema to marinate and process my thoughts. So let me explain to you why I fell in love with the art of cinema all over again with this film. It's technically one of the best films I've ever seen. It's beautiful yet grounded. It's artistic. It's all real. There's a fine line between the myth and reality. And it's intentional in the way we, the audience, perceive the entire epic. There comes a point in this film, even unknowingly to the audience, I was taken aback by it, where I started to genuinely question whether this film is based on a real, true story. It's because the world is real. It feels breathed in. Even though it's prehistoric in setting, it's very much a place we can believe existed. From the colour of the world, the diversity of the actors, right down to the language they speak. The language is so intentional. I'll be honest, when I saw the first trailer, the words threw me off a little bit, because I would not expect words like daddy and phrases like let's go in a mythical epic, but I was so wrong. It adds so much to the immersion. It fits because it's the world Nolan has created to make us believe. At that exact same point where I began to question whether this tale was real or not, I could also see exactly the transition of the main character, Odysseus, who also began to question his belief. His belief in what is real and what is not, in his conversations with Calypso, recalling his past and wondering if any of that was real. His belief in myths, in gods. The moment he started to believe, he submitted himself to the universe and the gods. Much like how Matthew McConaughey's Coop in Interstellar let the others show him his past and communicate with his daughter. Yep, there's a lot of Nolan's past movies in the Odyssey. Reviewers have already noted how he has told the same story across several others, so I won't go into that. But Nolan does not hide behind the fact. In fact, he makes it so obvious. There was a single line from Tom Holland's Telemachus, where he asked his mother, and I quote, "Is he going to come back?" The tone, the shot, the intention behind this question was identical to the one from The Dark Knight Rises, when Joseph Gordon-Levitt is asked this exact same question on whether the Batman will ever return from exile from a child in an orphanage. This film is staggering. There is so much to unpack and discuss, but that's exactly the intention here. It's the odyssey of human spirit and what humans must go through to find the divine in purpose and action. Matt Damon's Odyssey is that of victory, followed by immediate guilt. The difference between man and God is that God has no remorse over actions, but man must bear the burden for the rest of time. A homecoming is often celebrated, especially that of a king, but for Odysseus, it's about retribution and redemption. He returns home a new person, with belief and understanding, with worthiness. That is his Odyssey. The story aside, this film is so wonderful to look at. Every character, the scenery, the backdrop. If you ever wanted to see Christopher Nolan take on an epic like The Lord of the Rings or Gladiator or any sword and sandals film, then this film is for you. Him and Hoyt van Hoytema, his DOP, have done it again. And now, especially with the fact that this entire film is shot in IMAX, there is no strange changes in focal lenses, depth, and aspect ratio which we saw in his previous films, especially Oppenheimer. The film is poetic, and that's especially fitting as it's based on a poem. It has peaks and it has slow moments. It's perfectly balanced, so seamlessly tied together to form a cohesive and harmonious story. One other criticism I felt for Nolan in the past is how there's a clear distinction between his set pieces and the rest of the film. How it feels like there's a scene which he wants everyone to engage in, but scenes just before and after that scene are exposition dumps. But not with The Odyssey. It's one giant sweeping epic. There is no single set piece, rather it's the entire story told before you. Perfect pacing. The story is so dense, yet it's so approachable. Every person will get something out of the story. Something will stick. For me, it was as much about grief, guilt, and vengeance as it was about a man and his dog. My audience was so locked in. It was a fully packed screening. Everyone was engaged. It was silent, dead silent. But there was a single moment. The cinema fan in me was jumping up and down. In the final act, I let out an inexplicable gasp of absolute joy as my arms were freckled with goosebumps. God, I'm smiling even thinking about it. A moment of magic. I was in pure ecstasy. If you've seen the film, you can guess what scene it is I'm talking about. Write down in the comments what you think that scene is. There's a quote from book 1 of the Odyssey, which I just want to talk about quickly. What a lamentable thing it is that man should blame the gods and regard us as the source of their troubles, when it is their own transgressions which bring them suffering that was not their destiny. It's right from the beginning of the epic, but Nolan understood the assignment and captured this tone so perfectly throughout the film. If you can't tell, I love this film. It's certainly become my favourite film of the year, maybe even one of my favourite superhero films of all time. More on that in another video, maybe. It's going to be a difficult one to surpass, but let's see. In Villeneuve, I trust. But we've got a while until Dune Part 3 in December. For now, enjoy the Odyssey and experience the epic in cinemas. I'll see you tomorrow for a new video. If you enjoyed this review, please like and subscribe for more content in the world of cinema daily. Bye bye.